Why would the UN be upset at Japan? What did Japan do?
So on October 29th, Yamato Taro,
Later,
Japanese politician famously known as the otaku politician,
Hold on.
made a post detailing how the United Nations was coming after Japan for their anime and gaming industries and claiming that those industries were discriminating against women, to which he responded essentially saying that the claims were baseless and misrepresenting Japan and also extremely unfair, even going on to request a retraction. Interestingly enough,
Wait, what? Is this about the Magical Girl show?
for the last number of years, Japan has also been receiving increasing pressure from Western payment processors, and it seems highly unlikely that these two things occurring are coincidental. United Nations report admits the anime industry could easily collapse. It's also important to note that the stuff I briefly mentioned earlier is only scratching the surface. The UN has been coming after Japan for their ACG industry for years. Comicbook.com summarized an area of the report which reads, "The working group also expressed concern about the significant difficulties observed in addressing deeply embedded harmful gender and social norms.
Holy fuck, here we go.
Workplace discrimination and harassment experienced by women, indigenous people, Barku people, persons with disabilities, migrant workers, and..."
Is this black? Is this, does this mean black? Why they write it like that? Like, what the fuck? Who does that? What the hell? It's black, like buraku.
LGBTQI plus persons, among other groups.
Holy fuck.
Government and business initiatives to promote diversity and inclusion and to safeguard the rights of these at-risk groups are crucial moving forward. They then went on to attempt to tie these issues to the...
Dude, it's so rich, like, these people coming after anime for this kind of shit, when, like, anime has been, like, one of the most diverse mediums, like, before anyone was even talking about this. They had gays in anime, like, in the 80s. Like, these people are playing catch-up. They don't know what they're talking about. This is so dumb.
Anime industry as well, citing, for example, the extremely low pay that many animators face, but also making a vague statement about not receiving the necessary protections. Regarding the pay at least, unfortunately many animators do indeed face extremely low pay and very strenuous work hours. He went on to also talk about issues in the idol industry, which certainly does also seem like fair criticism. However, it's also very clear in my opinion that there's a bad faith attempt to conflate these issues
there is, yeah,
with the aforementioned ones that can easily...
This is like the problem half the time, is that they'll say something that is actually a problem. Like, they'll bring up something that's like, yeah, I can get around that. And then they go back and they cram this shit in. Like, they sneak it in. You know what I mean? It's like surprise. It's like in there, but it's like, you're like, yeah, I agree with this part. And then it's like they sneak it in there, you know?
Easily be seen as a push for DI and ESG policies which are currently failing more and more in the West. And there are certainly better solutions to the issues affecting the anime and idol industries rather than adopting failing DI ESG policies, and it comes off as a very disingenuously proposed solution. Furthermore, while Japan is a member of the UN, this attempt at policing them seems extremely bizarre because there are easily over a dozen other countries in the UN that treat the aforementioned minority groups infinitely worse than how they're treated in Japan, in which the UN has been...
I feel like they only go after people that like could possibly bend the knee, because there's like so many other countries that just don't give a fuck about this at all, right? Like
many for being
this
essentially
is like so
useless,
ridiculous,
as those people would say, in their attempts to improve human rights in those countries, making this report against Japan appear as if it might be an attempt to save face from those failures. That there could be a financial
Ghost Runner 2, I'm gonna play that game.
As DI and ESG policies continue to fail in the West, and those who are proponents of said policies may then seek to get Japan to further adopt them out of desperation. Indeed, some Japanese corporations and ACG have adopted those practices more and more, notably Square Enix, who has been making the news routinely for their recent financial failures ever since doing so. And of course, Square has other issues going on as well. However, their delving into DISG is certainly on the list of issues. And that's it for the summary of this news. As always, thank you so much for tuning in.
This is so ridiculous, man.
Please consider
going after Japan for this is so ridiculous, because like, especially like again with like all of the other countries that are like on the list, right? Like, that's so crazy.